Hi everyone, Father George here. I first want to tell you that I'm very thankful that I've had 2 really good days. Doesn't mean I haven't had any struggles, but I haven't had the usual pains and issues and haven't had to do any extra medication. And why am I sharing that with you? Because I know there are so many of you who are praying with me and for me and my family. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you, because we need it, really. We can't live without it. So I want to take this opportunity to share with you a few spiritual thoughts. And that is, as I was speaking to a dear friend, we were talking about crosses. And as we know, God says to us to pick up our cross and follow him. And that sounds easy enough. And so when we look at our life, sometimes we can easily understand what that cross is. But are there different types of crosses? And that's an important question to ask. The reason why I bring this up is because sometimes these are not the crosses that God gives us, but these are consequences to errant behavior or errant ways. And we think that's a cross, as opposed to what God gives us, that we are to take upon ourselves and walk the narrow way where it's thorny, rocky, probably a high, steep incline, but it leads us towards salvation. So a simple question would be, how can we distinguish between those crosses? Between one that God gives us and one that maybe is a consequence to an errant behavior or an errant way? Well, first and foremost, we were never meant to walk this life alone, were we? Jesus has said to us, where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, he too is present. So right away, that tells us we're not meant to do this alone. And I understand that there are some people who say, I don't need an intercessor. I don't need a priest. I don't need a counselor. I go right to God, and God and I talk. And I'm not telling you that's bad, but I'm going to say that there could be some deficiencies with that. Because he said, I didn't say it, where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name. So, as a parish priest, as a spiritual father, I have found myself in many situations, I'd say 100%, being the number 2. That person who would come to my unworthiness would be number 1, I'd be number 2. God is number 3. So really, even though there's 2 people talking and 2 people working, there's 3 of us who are working dynamically together to go deep within the consciousness of our soul to understand ourselves better. So there's so many benefits and blessings from having a spiritual father or a father confessor to help us understand the crosses in our lives and help weed out which is the ones that lead us towards salvation and which are the consequences to errant behavior. So you might ask yourself, well then, how do I choose this spiritual father? Well, it's not like going to Target and looking at the shoe rack and seeing which fits better. We're talking about, again, where 2 or 3 are gathered, meaning that God is with us. God is with us right now. So if you want to find someone who's going to walk with you in Christ, you got to go to Jesus. And you have to pray with your heart open. Lord, I want to know you better. I want to know myself better. I want to know what that road to salvation is. So please, enlighten me, lead me, send me to someone who's going to be able to help me open myself up to you. someone I can trust, someone I can respect, someone I can see your face in. And when you do that, be patient, because, we want that microwave society. I want fast food and I want it now. And you have to be patient with God, because even time is used by God to bring us closer to Him. And so sometimes it will seem like a long while until He answers. But it's out of love that He wants to know, how much do you really mean what you're saying? And how much do you really feel what you're looking after? So, in closing, I just want to say this. I have benefited and am benefiting from that kind of spiritual relationship. There are many people that benefit, and I want you to benefit from that. I want you to prayerfully consider, especially if you want to get to the next step, if you want to grow more intimate in your relationship with God, is to simply take the time and ask Him. Connect me. It could be your parish priest. It could be a priest from a neighboring community. But God's going to match you. And if you don't believe me, then why would you ever ask Him to help you find a life mate, a husband, or a wife? Why would you trust Him with that and not trust Him with your salvation? So I want you to really consider this to help you better understand what is the cross you're carrying, or what are the crosses that are in your life, and to help weed out the ones that can be easily dropped, easily pushed to the side, and then take that one that has been given to you by Him, which will lead you to salvation. God bless you. Keep you well. Talk to you soon.